I'm talking to Sigmund Freud in 1910. He keeps asking, he goes back again and again to my childhood, and he asked me 3 questions about this work. He said, Herr Mahler, first, why did you change the sex of the victim? Because we all know in this story, as you know from the story, that it is actually a king who has a son and a daughter, prince and princess, and he says, which of you finds the flower, I will give you the throne. So it was then, boy killed his sister, boy kills girl in the forest. Why did you change that, Mom? Why did you change it to brother, older brother kills younger brother? And I said, well, it seemed to make better sense dramatically to me to have boy kill boy. Then he asked me another question. He said, when you examine this work again in 1894 and you like it so much, why did you suppress? Why did you eliminate? Why did you withdraw part 1? The Wahlmärchen, the scene of the murder. Why? And I said, well, obviously, it's better dramatic. The work is too long. Too long. And here Freud says, but you are then writing a Symphony number 3, which goes on for 2 hours. Why did you mutilate this work? And well, I could not answer it, and we went on, and he asked me a 3rd question, which I am loath to even mention. But he was right. I knew it. I withdrew part 1, and it makes now absolutely no sense, the work itself. Because part 1, the scene of the murder, is 1/2 hour of playing time. The other 2, parts 2 and 3, are also 1/2 hour total. So now we have a work, I'm saying it's too long, and it's only 1/2 hour long, parts 2 and 3. Most importantly, though, is that in the 3rd part, when we are at the wedding, the bridegroom, the guilty man, is thinking of the thoughts of the murder. And he is standing there. I will play this for you. In 3rd part, at the wedding, and the alto soloist says, Was ist der König so bleich und stumm? She's saying, why is the king, the murderer, why at his own wedding, in all this festivity, why is he so bleich, is pale? He's pale and stumm, is so dumb. Why is he standing in a corner, shaking like this, paralyzed in fear? Why? Well, at that very moment, the oboe plays. And you listen to part 3 without part 1, and you say, oh, this is a very nice little tune. What does it mean? It means absolutely nothing. It is musical nonsense. If you go back to part 1, which I suppressed, we had it in the very beginning, French horn. And the bass soloist sings, he is singing, a rose, a beautiful rose is blooming in the woods. And this is what's on the mind of the husband when he is sitting there, bleich und stumm, in his wedding. And the harps, and suddenly the violins are trilling, and the flute and the piccolo. And what is all this about? If you have not heard, if you're missing part 1, you don't know that this is we call it flashback to part 1. The woods, the scene here, that it's in his mind, that it's in his memory, where he killed his brother. And suddenly, the French horns play. And listen to this sound. And the chorus sings, Sieht nicht die Gäste, stolz und rein. They're saying, does he not see? Does he not see the guests? They are proud and they are rich. Does he not see, like a very gentle lullaby, does he not see his own queen, his wife, so proud? And then it ends with a scale coming down. And what does this sense, does this scale? Absolutely none, unless you hear part 1, because every verse in part 1 in the woods ends with that downward scale, including the murder. Always, and now you hear it. It makes absolutely no sense unless you realize, of course, that this is all a flashback for him, and he is standing there. And then the Spielmann comes in. The Spielmann, and I am done with my earthly tenure. Nothing changed. Nothing changed. And yet, even at that time, you know when I, in the 10th Symphony, first movement, suddenly, out of nowhere, we have